Things might get weird.
Yeah.
Welcome to our life.
Take it away.
Welcome to another episode of the Hewlett House. I'm Jessica.
I'm Hayden. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I could have done this alone, but thanks for coming.
Whatever. I guess it's good that you're here.
I guess it's good.
Actually, you couldn't do this one alone. All right?
True that.
Yep.
True that.
Don't pretend like you don't need me.
I need you.
I know.
Stressed. Don't leave us. Jess is trying to leave our family for the next 2 weekends and leaving me to babysit kids.
It's not babysitting. You're
Yes,
the
it is.
father.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
There's a baby, and I have to sit here.
Actually, there isn't even a baby.
Kind of is. I wipe my own ass.
At what
That's
phase
Big
are they
Big
not?
Daddy, right?
Yeah. But I wipe my own butt. But he says the A word.
Don't say that. Yeah, so what's up?
You know, I just feel like we're just running like crazy as ever.
Yep, it's going to get crazier here for the next month.
So excited.
Yeah, you have Benson Boone is the new rave, the craze.
Maddie's obsessed.
All the high school girls seem to love Benson Boone. So the women are going to go see him next weekend in St. George. I'll be here with the children if anybody needs.
This will be a couple weeks after, so they won't even know.
That's true.
Sorry, guys.
And then the weekend
That's
after
why we're
that.
okay just saying all of our plans, is because by the time you actually hear it, it's over and you actually don't even know.
We'll survive.
You didn't even know.
Yeah. And then you're going to Missouri with Maddie's choir again. They're going to go. Was it Nationals or what is this one?
Nationals. So
what was the last one? Was it
I kind of figured it out because
Okay.
it's like, so show choir is not as big as like regular choir, right?
Yeah.
Every high school has a regular choir, right? So regular choirs, they'll do it where it's like you do a regional competition and then you go to nationals.
Oh, okay.
So for them, since there's not enough people, I'm assuming, or enough choirs to do a regional competition, you just have to qualify in one of the FAME competitions. So the FAME is the big choir competition at the end, which is the national competition, right? Like the finale national.
Yeah.
So you have to go to one of their other competitions, which I don't know how many there are, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
so they went to the Florida one, and they got grand champions there, so they got first place.
Yeah.
And then
That was more of a regional one, then.
That would be like, quote unquote, like a regional type. Like
How many schools were there?
There were 5.
Okay.
Yeah, but they freaking cleaned house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So how many's going to be at Nationals?
I think about the same.
Okay.
But I
Are there
honestly
different
don't
schools
know.
this time, you think, or is it all the same ones?
Well, because the top, I can't remember if it was the top 2 or 3 from that first one you can go.
Okay.
We didn't even think that we were going to go, but because they did so well, the school was like, no, we want you to go and
They're
give
helping
it a
support
go.
it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, anyway,
And that's kind of what their school is all about, is this.
fine arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
They're a bigger fine arts school, yeah.
Speaking of fine arts, thanks for the hot date last night.
Oh, is that fine arts?
Yeah.
No,
we
it's
experienced fine arts last night.
At its finest.
At its finest. Jess took me to go see Cocaine Bear last night.
I sure did.
And
Put this all on
maybe
me.
spoiler alert here. We're not gonna try
Just
to talk
pause. We're not going to, if you don't want to hear a little, it's not going to be a major spoiler, but,
There's cocaine in it.
and a bear,
And there is a bear.
and there is lots. And when I say lots, I mean a lot of gore.
There's some blood in it.
No,
There's definitely some blood in it.
there's lots.
There is violence and gore.
Yep. Pretty much that
And
was
humor. Honestly, there is some humor. It's about what you would expect. It got a 71%, I think, audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the only score I pay attention to.
Me too, but normally it's like,
It was pretty. I thought it was pretty spot on. That's about what I would have given it.
really?
Yeah,
I would probably
a little less
than that.
Maybe a little less. I could agree with that too. I would say 65% probably would have been my.
It was like you walk out and you're like, what did I just watch?
But at the same time, it's freaking Cocaine Bear. What do you
I know.
expect?
No,
If you're in
we
a
didn't-
silly mood and have low expectations and just want to go see a silly movie,
Yeah.
it's the perfect movie for that type
Yeah.
of a night.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
I
you're
thought.
right. You're right.
The couple that was sitting next to us, like they were just laughing on their way out, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I was trying to get her to leave, and she's like, yeah, he was trying to get me to leave here like an hour ago.
Are we done yet? Is it over? Can we go now?
And my comment was, that's the movie of the year right there.
Yeah. As we left.
Yeah.
There was another couple they were talking to, and you're like,
That was a horrible movie. I'm like, what
What'd
did you
you
expect, dude? I don't know. Like, it's Cocaine Bear. I don't know.
Yeah.
A bear gets into cocaine. So if you want to know the story, like what's true or not, it might be good to read it before you go see it. But
well, the best part is, didn't you say, or we looked it up and it said that the bear killed nobody.
yeah,
Because at first I was like,
just the bear ate cocaine, overdosed, and died. But the story of like the guy jumping out of the plane, I think, is true, and then the bear getting cocaine is true, but killing 10 people isn't.
Yeah, and it did say. So it
Sorry,
made it
that's
better
spoiler
though, because
alert now.
there was.
We need to go back and say spoiler alert and all that. I feel bad.
We
That's
did.
another
I already
movie.
said it.
Okay.
But the thing is I kept sitting here like, okay, if you're the families of these victims, that's why we had to look it up. If you're
Yeah.
the families of these victims and they're like making it this huge joke,
Charlie got his head ripped off by a bear.
something I
I got to relive this through this Cocaine Bear movie.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, this is awful. So we had to look up and see if it was actually true, and that it killed anybody is not true. So, and that's where all the quote unquote humorous parts were.
Too bad. It's too bad.
Anyway,
Really thinking that I was watching.
could you imagine doing the
No, I'm just teasing.
autopsy though? They're like, how did this bear just up and die?
Yeah,
Cocaine. Would
Cocaine.
you have thought?
it's a hell of a drug.
Anyway, that's probably way longer than we should have even given that movie.
No, it's not.
Airtime.
I appreciated the movie. Elizabeth Banks was the one that directed it.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan of hers. 2 thumbs up, Elizabeth.
Good job, Liz.
It's Elizabeth.
We're BFFs. I can freaking call her Liz.
Fine.
In my head.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I don't know. This is probably TMI, but since we're already just putting all our lives on the internet, I've had some really good. Our last episode got a little heavy. I feel like we got a little emotional, both of us, and we had a good chat, and it was honestly really good. And I kind of talked about how I just felt like I'm kind of turning this corner, coming out of this funk and this depression, and how the more people I talk to, the more I realize like everybody has been, and everybody's felt not everybody, but a lot of people have felt kind of weighed down, and life's been heavy. So, first, I love you. If you're listening to this, I love you. Thanks for listening.
Me too.
And I do want to bring more light and joy to the world and happiness and all the goodness. But I think I was just in the middle of the funk. I think I just knew that I couldn't be just sitting.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I got into school and was giving it a run. Kind of hindsight, it's always 20/20, right? But looking back, I'm going, why did I do this? And it was just me just trying to get my wheels spinning because I just felt stuck. And I'm glad I at least did that. That tells me that I wasn't too far gone. But I was just in this real funk for a while, just trying to figure things out. And I actually started doing a job search and looking for a job. And real estate's been actually not horrible. I mean, it's slowed down here. Utah stayed fairly busy. It's a freaking weird market because we've just taken in so many people from other states and people moving here that there really is still a ton of demand. Mm-hmm. But rates are screwing people and affordability is screwing people. So it's like as soon as rates dipped again this week, our phones started buzzing more, and one of our homes had about 4 showings just this weekend on it.
Nice.
It's like a $1.1 million house we have listed in Mapleton. You know, it's a great home, but it's just been sitting. We were selling these types of homes in a weekend last year.
Yeah.
You know? And with rates doubling, it just things change. And so anyway, I just kind of was just in this funk, and I'm like, maybe I'll just get a job and we can just keep our sanity for a little while. And man, I just had this epiphany, hey, stick where you're at, do what you're doing. This is where you're supposed to be for now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Just get back to the grind of things and just trusting in the process, you know. And there's always going to be challenges, especially as an entrepreneur, and things get hard and things get real, and it's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that damn much. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of respect for people that do this full time. In any endeavor that you're doing entrepreneurially, like it can be heavy at times. So anyway, I empathize with all of you on a deep level, but It's been good. Things have, so I actually had kind of a final interview I was supposed to do this week, and I let them know, thanks so much. I was really grateful, really great people. It seemed like it could have been a great company, and just another job, but the grind. And then I kind of thought, man, if I needed to do this, if this economy doesn't crash too hard, if I really had to go get a job at some point, I could, probably.
Yeah.
And, or hopefully. But yeah, we're going to stick it out in real estate for a bit longer and hopefully forever and kind of see how this thing continues to morph and take us places. But
Love it.
trying to tuck my family into selling our house and moving further north. So we'll see how that goes.
We will see how that goes.
You heard it here first.
For the right price.
Yeah. If not, we'll probably rent out our basement again. What was interesting is when I was interviewing for that last job, the lady interviewing me, she straight up told me, she said, wow, the real estate market, huh? There must be some changes going on there because I've been getting a lot of resumes.
Oh,
and I
really?
said, I'll bet you have. And she goes, yeah, she goes, most of them are actually loan officers. And I'm like, that actually doesn't surprise me that much. Because real estate, we can at least kind of still hustle homes and everything, but with rates killing lenders, if they're not a lender with a good pipeline in business, like they can.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know lenders that it's just been hard for them, but some of them are still, the ones that we work with have, stayed going. So see how it goes. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Awesome, babe. Good job.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Yeah, I just had a lot of messages. It's cool. I don't know. Feel like I've seen God's hand in our lives lately, and just kind of, I've heard things lately I've needed to hear, and whether it's through a podcast or a conversation, and just kind of cool. Just like, feel like I've really been, I don't know, more present maybe in conversations and just listening and hearing things, and like from everything from Kim and Kyle's class that we've been going to, there's things there, that little things that I've picked up on that I'm thinking that have been really helpful for me. And
what about podcasts? You had a podcast the other day that you had an epiphany with.
Yeah, so I like Luke Combs. He's a country singer. Most people have probably heard of him, but he was on Joe Rogan this week, and I'm not like a huge Luke Combs fan. I think he's a good singer. And after that podcast, he seems like just a super down to earth, pretty cool dude. Some of these guys I listen to, I'm like, I could hang with this guy. Right. It's too bad they're famous, but him and Theo, I would like to chill with Theo Vaughn. He's one of the, I think he's a national treasure.
We've decided that Theo Vaughn is funnier, like off the cuff. So like on his podcast rather than like watching his set. Right?
Yeah, his stand-up's still pretty funny, but on a podcast, I feel like that's
to me.
where
I'm like,
shines.
he gets the best nuggets in there.
Yeah.
Rather than anyway.
And it just seems like he's becoming more famous and popular, and it's cool to just see him.
Yeah.
I heard about him from Rogan years ago, and now he's just kind of just kicking butt. But it was fascinating for me this week. I listened to Luke Combs, and he explained the O.C.D. that I have so perfectly. I think it's like at the hour. If you go on, it's a long. Rogan does like 3-hour podcasts, so it's long. But man, I was listening to it the other night.
2 hours.
It was like the hour,
40-minute
mark, roughly 38-minute, something like that mark. And he talked for about 20 to 30 minutes. You can turn the speed up and blow through it if you're even interested. But he talked about the O.C.D. that he has, and I've never heard it explained that way. And I've never heard someone else explain so perfectly the O.C.D. that I have experienced personally.
Yeah.
And I could relate with him almost 100% of it. With 100% of it, dang near. I mean, it was that close, and a lot of it comes down to he kind of beat around the bush on it a little bit, but like that scrupulosity, that O.C.D., that religious scrupulosity. Am I boring you? Sorry.
No,
Wake up over there.
I'm sorry.
Our whole freaking family's sick again. We have been fighting.
Yay.
Jess has actually been fighting a cold. She sounds better right now than she has for a minute, right?
Yeah, don't make me think about it. I don't know why, but it makes me cough more.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Gwen's had it. Tav's had it. So half of us.
Listen, it's good odds.
What's eating over there? Cough drop?
I'm going to get a cough drop so that it's not so bad.
But yeah, it was interesting because he was talking about how he went to go to, Rogan asked him, he's like, have you had therapy for it? And he said, yeah, but what's tough about that type of OCD is that you're always seeking validation. So you might have a thought come into your head like, what did he say? Like, what if, and it's usually the opposite of how you actually feel inside, but it's like, what if I killed that person or something heavy stuff?
Like it just pops in there.
It just pops in your head, and instead of like letting a thought kind of come and go, you obsess over it. And then you're like, why did I have that thought? Am I really that bad of a person? And so then you seek validation that I'm not that bad of a person, right?
Yeah.
And so when you go to a therapist, that's what you're seeking. Well, then you kind of get stuck on this loop and it can happen for months at a time. Luckily I haven't dealt with it like heavily for years now.
Yeah.
And he actually mentioned the same thing that he hasn't, but it reminded me and helped me become, just listening to that helped me realize, like, one, I'm not alone, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Two, that I still do have these obsessive compulsive things that I do, like counting or different things in my mind that I do on autopilot. Bless you.
Sorry.
Geez, sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned you're cold.
I know, it's weird.
And you just kind of get stuck on this loop, and then you seek validation, whether it's like with you, I would talk to you all the time about stuff, or like, I don't know why I feel this way, or why am I.
And again, with the scrupulosity, it's like obsessive, or confessions, right?
Yeah, silly, like old
So
like
you're, like,
obsessive,
over...
compulsive confessing stuff.
Yeah.
Talking to the bishop, hey, I had this thought, or I thought this, or did you do anything? No, I just freaking, I don't know
just
why.
Thought it.
Yeah, and where it actually got really bad for me was when they called me to be like, had a little bit higher calling in our ward, elders
Yeah, we
president,
talked about that a little bit.
And when I got called to that, it really hurt me because I was like imposter syndrome times a million, and so I really struggled with it there, And I think imposter syndrome, we all get it to a degree, and it almost just triggered it, made it worse, and I'm like, anyway. But yeah, I think what's interesting is just talking, and we've talked about this before, but just we're not alone. A lot of people deal with that, and he made the comment that he's like, if somebody had killed my whole family, he said, I would want them free and to have the same disorder, the same issue. It's that bad. He's like, I'm not even kidding. And I thought, I have been there. I have been in such a dark place with it, where it just was so heavy, and my mind was just on this loop where I just it was making me crazy almost.
Yeah.
And anyway, but going to a therapist, you just seek that validation over and over again, which is why I was there, and she was really good about not validating me, but saying, okay, do you see the process, and do you see how this works? And she actually mentioned that she was meeting with one other person that was dealing with the same thing I was.
And he was kind of in your same calling, right?
I don't know if he was or not, but he was dealing with some of the same issues I was. And she goes, yeah, you're not the only person that I'm working with right now that's dealing with the same thing. And I thought, okay, well, at least I'm not alone there. But I didn't realize, I've never heard somebody explain it so well.
That way.
Like Luke Combs did, on his podcast. So anyway, kind of interesting and cool.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, the brain's crazy. It's weird to think about. And what is weird is that I just realized that it just made me more aware of like the current OCD that I have. And I do like things in order and stuff. So anyway, I'm just trying to be more present with it, and just trying to to not, once it comes in my mind that I'm doing it or counting or something, I just try and like push it out. Just try.
Didn't he say something like,
maybe
what he does is he will say, okay, that came to my head, but just like not give it any power, in the sense of saying, yeah, I could do that. Like, like you said,
maybe that could happen. Yeah,
that could happen. I could reach over this table and punch that guy in the face, right?
Yeah.
Like he had the thought, oh, I'm going to punch that guy, and he's like,
it's almost like Tourette's in your brain.
Yeah.
It really, that's what it is.
Yeah,
and then you get this dopamine rush and all this crazy stuff. And then he mentioned how and Rogan actually, I don't know, I would be curious the science behind this to know how it really works. But he talked about, he's like, I'm so grateful and love what I do, and it does feel great to do it. But he's like, it is rare that I get this major dopamine rush, or that I feel overly excited about things. And I have felt the same way a lot of times, that I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I just have this dopamine burnout or what with my brain, or if that's how. And Rogan actually told him, he's like, no, that's pretty normal. He goes, I could name on one hand the times that I really felt our kids and our marriage and things that really got me excited, and it was really cool. But you would think that getting a Grammy or whatever he's won awards and singing in front of millions of people, and he's like, I think that still does it for him. But he just acted like, when people get these awards, sometimes they're crying, they're so emotional, and he's like, I just can't, like, I don't get there. And he's like, no, it's because you're probably a humble guy, and you just keep working. And anyway, there's probably a million ways to look at it, but anyway, kind of interesting stuff. But.
So that was Rogan and Luke Combs episode, and it was like at marker 140, an hour 40-ish, 30, 40.
Yep.
Anyway, if you wanted to.
Episode 1956. He's almost done 2,000 episodes. It's crazy.
We're on like 20, 21. Can you imagine? It's insanity. That's awesome.
Let's try and just break this one up into 20 episodes. And
Just every 10 minutes.
all his are like
is an episode.
are 2 to 3, 4 hours long sometimes.
That's awesome.
He's had a few go 90 minutes, an hour, but that's very few.
Yeah. That's a lot of time.
Yeah. But anyway.
Cool. Well,
There's some more.
Hayden has been playing with AI lately, right? Is that what you call it?
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Inteligencia artificial.
Tell us about it.
You're welcome.
Tell
Is
us.
that, I'm guessing that's how you say it in Spanish. I don't know.
Probably.
I'm
I
not
don't
a
know.
doctor.
That's a good guess.
It's a good guess. It's a good guess. Yeah, I was playing around with this Chat GPT, and I said, "Give me some questions I can ask my wife."
Have you
on a
liked it
podcast
though?
about
Like stuff that you'd.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Hopefully, people have played with it. It's going to change our world that we live in. It's gnarly.
Because you were telling me it
But
will
I think it
like
can be
write you a
good.
whole like. What?
College students are using it to write essays.
Their
and things.
essays, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
legit. It'll do it. I think you have to run it through another AI that it makes it so it can't read that. I guess when you submit your homework, it can tell if it was written by an AI or something else. And I don't know how all the. I haven't had to turn in essays since for
That's
a while.
crazy.
College, but the it's pretty wild. Yeah, you can ask it any question, and it's a little biased and everything. It has its things set, but I think we're going to get to a place where this AI, you can. I don't know. Rogan talks about how he thinks we'll be able to read each other's minds one day, and
Please don't.
I'm like, yeah, I guess if you had these chips in our brains and
Yeah.
we become
Just
man
kidding.
and machine, you know.
Mine's not that interesting.
I don't know. Imagine everybody being able to read your thoughts, especially if you have Tourette's brain like I do.
That's true.
What if I killed that person? Ah!
They're all
I'm not gonna kill you, bro.
serial killer.
Do not think this.
Label
I cannot
him.
think of anything
He
else
goes
now.
to- yeah, right.
Yeah,
Funny.
you're funny. Don't kill me, please.
I'm not the one.
You're a murderer. Yeah, so I said, give me some thoughts I can ask my wife on relationships, and I'm curious, actually. Some of these were pretty good, so I'm going to just go down the list here, and we can talk about them if you want.
I've got the list too, though. So
Oh,
you ask me, and
yeah.
I'll ask you.
I shared it with you. I would kind of wanted to do some of these. I think I have this one in another list, but I wanted to do some of these where you couldn't think about it too much. I just wanted you to give me your opinion.
I know. I'm just gonna look at it and read it. I'm not thinking. We're not thinking.
Read what? I'm going to ask you the question, and you're going to tell me?
Yeah, and then I'll just be like, okay, let me read number 5.
All right, number 1. What do you think is the key to maintaining a strong relationship?
Communication and time.
Ooh, and time.
Yeah. Because time, well, and I guess it depends on the person, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own.
If you scoot your chair this way, I can see your face better.
I know.
Or you can see mine.
Okay.
Do you want to? Do you want to do that?
No, that's part of the good relationship. Just kidding.
Let's communicate here. Oh, there's your face. Part of seeing your face is
It's
a
just more
part of good
comfortable when I
communication.
sit back a little bit more.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so everybody has their love language, right?
Yeah.
So to me, though, I think the time that you're together can bring you closer or apart. And so to really know if they're the one for you, you would probably want to spend time with them, right?
I think so.
So time, and then communication, because if you're not letting them know how you feel or your thoughts or all the things,
Yeah.
that causes issues too,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you think it's I feel like communication has been something you and I have learned through the course of our marriage to do better at.
For sure.
And I would say probably I have come the furthest in learning about how to communicate better. Probably because I had the furthest to go, to be honest.
No, I think me too, because I think, so I've noticed with myself, especially through like this time and season that we just had the last few years,
Yeah.
I noticed that I like stopped communicating as much because I was protecting you a little bit. Does that make sense? So like I would stop, there were things that I just would hold back because it didn't matter at the time. But then I got into a bad habit of not communicating enough and not like
I wonder if it's easier on you too.
standing up for like things that I needed or wanted or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize I was doing that, but I was just trying to, like, this was your season that you needed the support.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to be better at being like, okay, no, we're good. We're talking again. You know, I'm voicing my opinions more or whatever. And sometimes that's hard, but I think timing is key too in the conversation.
And we're not the type that I'll go to work and we won't talk all day long until I'm on my way home sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and
we're
I've
not
had
talking all day long.
But I have worked with people and shared offices with people whose wife called them like 3 times before lunch. Like I'm talking normal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like maybe for some relationships and some people that's fine and good.
Well,
but
maybe that's what they need.
I couldn't. Yeah, I think it was. But for me, we've never been that way. We just talk when we need to. I feel like, and we manage it pretty well.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. There was stuff that we probably should have talked about more before we got married. I just think we were, not to blame it and just take the jump on, you know, we were young, but we were freaking young and naive, and we just we got married and it was the right thing to do. But I feel like we got pretty damn lucky in a lot of ways, you know, or at least I did.
Well, and we grew up together. To me, I think that's almost a saving grace too, because we were so young that we've seen each other through lots of phases, and so we really know who each other is to the core. Yeah. And so when things become hard, we can go back to, you know, we're having a hard time right now, but that's not who they are right now, or who they are. Always.
Yeah. Yeah. You hope anyway that it's not me morphing into that person.
Well, no, because even like the last, you know, you said you've been struggling the last 6 to 7 months. Yeah, that's been really hard.
Yeah.
But we all know, like me and the kids know deep down, like this isn't who you are to your core. You're just going through a slump.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so even though it's hard and, you know, things happen and whatever.
Yeah.
But we still come back to, okay, you know, and we can see, oh, there's Dad. Yeah. When you came back, you were starting to come back out, you know?
Yeah. Little glimmers of hope. Well, I think, as you're patient with me, it definitely makes it easier for me to be patient with you on certain things. And it was funny today. You did that reel of the 10 questions, and we immediately knew who was the least patient. It's definitely me, you know, but there's some things I'm more patient with than others. Yeah. I freaking jumped Jack's butt sorry to out you, buddy. And anyway, I do not like to be lied to, especially about silly stuff. But even the big stuff, like, let's talk, man. Mm-hmm. You know, I struggle there. And then we got good kids. I'm sure they're sometimes scared, and I'm just a butthead, so I'm working on that too. You know? Well, yeah. But I would agree. I would say 100% communication. And the one question I've always had, I feel like in our marriage, it works. Communication works. Yeah. I to a fault probably tell you too much.
You know what though?
You know everything about me. I
think.
Yeah,
but I think that's helpful.
Or 99% of it. I feel like you know me.
I think that's helpful for me to feel calm about certain things or situations even, right? Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I'm like totally comfortable, especially with changes in the last few years and religion changes and stuff, right? There are new situations that you get put into. Yeah. And so it's made me feel more comfortable being like, okay, if something does happen, he's going to tell me. You know, I don't have to just guess and just pray and have that on me all the time. Yeah. It's more your conscience will tell me, and I'm grateful for it. And it makes me trust you more. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I don't know if that's a good thing for all marriages. I have some buddies I don't know. But I know this person, and I know this side of them, and I've seen things happen, and I'm like, it's between them and their spouse if they want to say anything about whatever it is, you know? Yeah, just don't do dumb crap. I know. It's easier said than done sometimes. Is it? Yeah. Don't put yourself in situations. I'm trying to think of like something specific, but I don't know. I just, not that, I guess big and little stuff, but I wonder how much they say or how much they don't say in some people, you know? Yeah. And some people I don't even know that well. I just wonder what the agreement is on that, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I'm
could be
grateful that
something
you
as
talked
silly
to me.
as drinking, I guess. Could be something like that, right?
Like they don't tell their spouse that they're
yeah,
drinking.
maybe they go out of town, or it's just kind of they just accept it as like a mutual agreement. Like they'll have a drink while they're out of town, but when they're home, they don't. Kind of a thing. And maybe it doesn't get talked about at home, but it's just assumed or something. Or maybe it's just they don't. Neither of them know. I just wonder stuff like that.
That's about them.
To me,
and their
exactly. To me,
relationship,
I'm
and
like,
that's
whatever,
fine,
dude.
but-
I don't freaking give a care. But anyway,
Yeah, I see.
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's funny.
To me, I don't know how. Like in the end, it's gonna come out, though. You know what I mean?
I just think I think karma is a real thing. Like what goes around comes around, and when we don't get away with anything. I think ultimately in the end, we really don't. Some way, somehow,
and it doesn't.
we
It
pay for our
probably
stuff.
doesn't feel good to try and hold it in or hide it or whatever either. So
It doesn't for me, but I have O.C.D. and
yeah.
lucky you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Here's
one.
all my sins. Here's all my crap. Yeah.
No, I think it's good because why prolong the inevitable in that type of situation, right?
Yeah,
Like if it's a big deal, you should talk about it anyway.
totally. Yeah.
And in the end, even conversations about like irritabilities or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We even just had this conversation in that Crucial Conversations class where it was the longer that you let it go, the more there's going to fester there, right? And so the bigger deal it becomes.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, I don't know, we leave a towel on the floor or something or on somewhere. And then the more times that it happens, the story in your head gets bigger and bigger and bigger instead of cutting it off from the beginning.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
Apologize quickly. Fix things fast.
Yep.
I think that's why that story thing with the reel we did too said who apologizes first, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was me. I'm
You
just
totally
the first.
do.
I'm like I have to because if I did something wrong, and sometimes if I don't, it's because I'm not sure how to right away, or I'm trying to figure out the right way to approach it, or I'm not even it's not even a super important thing to me right away, and so it takes time for me to work through stuff, and I want it to be genuine too.
Yeah.
But I usually do. I've learned like, hey, fix it fast because it doesn't fester, and it does just become a bigger thing. And especially for me, where I struggle with such a conscience that I'm like, it's just going to ruin my day, and I can't have this anymore. So I gotta tell
just
you.
let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're still married,
to
so
me,
there hasn't been anything that
it
has
worked out.
ruined our marriage yet. So that's good.
But to me, I'm like, that's my toxic trait that I'm working on.
What?
I don't think I'm wrong.
You're serious about that?
No, I really no. I'm telling you, like, I'm just like, this is what I'm saying. This is why it was good for me to do this.
You are stubborn
I'm
in that way,
serious.
actually. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Well, it's funny
serious, where
because
it's like, I think I'm all, well, no. Because I'm a pretty patient person, I guess.
Yeah.
And so when I do freak out, I feel like justified in it.
Justified. You're Jessica.
I'm justified.
Justified.
Maybe that's why it came with a name. Anyway, so I feel like I'm justified. So then it takes me a lot longer to process
You can justify your way right to hell, young lady. Okay?
Anyway, so you
Well,
are better at it, and
Well,
I'm
you're
learning
good
that I
too.
need to.
You're sweet. I'm a douche. We've understood this, but what's interesting, and I want to say this the right way because last night we were talking at dinner about. By the way, sorry. Side note: we ate at Five Guys last night, and I didn't realize you could do a grilled cheese thing
my gosh,
where they
you
flip the
guys.
bum. The bum. They flip the bum. They take that out.
Delicious.
Just
nope.
kidding.
Nope. Stay in.
Delicious. They flipped it, and it was like a grilled cheeseburger.
Yeah, I think
Jessica
I noticed,
figured it out.
Yeah, somebody I don't know somewhere said to do it, so I did it. But I think they put an extra thing of cheese in there too.
I think you're right.
There's cheese on top and cheese on bottom of the patty, or like in between
Inside.
the breads.
Yeah. It definitely tasted better.
Definitely.
It's not helping my quote unquote diet I'm on.
Listen,
right now.
it was one of those things where I'm like, this tastes way too good to be healthy in any capacity, right?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, and the Cajun fries. We even got a milkshake, which everybody regretted later.
shared.
My tummy hurts when I drink dairy.
Everybody regretted it because it hurt your tummy.
Nope.
Yep.
We already talked about all my tummy issues last week, okay? We're done with that for a while.
We're done.
Everybody knows I almost crapped my pants on a boat off the coast of Oregon.
Maddie just said, Mom, this is the best episode yet.
She did.
She's like, I'm finishing that episode. I'm like, I'm so
funny.
glad. I'm so glad.
Well, you and I ended up, sorry to detour there, but you and I ended up on the topic again of religion, like we do a lot of times in just our discussion. And I really do feel like I'm getting to a place with it that I've just really, I think, matured.
Yeah.
Is the only word that I can think of in my experience with everything, where I've come and learned and read and understood.
Yeah.
To where I'm just kind of over some things. And so we were kind of talking about that last night. And you're great because you do a really good job hearing both sides. But I can feel this, I almost feel like this stubbornness in like which I think is okay. I think it's maybe you protecting what you believe and what you need and want at this time.
Yeah, because I've got to be.
So I've had to learn, okay, just be patient and be understanding, because she's been that way with you. That, I guess, it's an example of me being, it's a little easier for me to be patient because you put up with a lot harder stuff from me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not that it should be that way. Just thanks for putting up with my crap. But even as I talk to you, I feel like and I don't think I realize my tone sometimes, that it comes off a little attacking, because I don't always feel that. Feel that way inside. And so I just say things and it kind of comes out funny. But anyway, it was just an interesting conversation last night. It was nice. It was good.
Yeah.
But
it was good.
Did that make sense?
I think so.
Just that you kind of have learned you always just think you're right. And so
I know, I'm sorry.
I think I was trying to tell you, like, I'm really not that upset. I guess there's things that bug me, and so I might get a tone. I might carry a tone and say it a certain way, but I'm like, I really do feel like I'm getting to a place where I'm not that upset about it. Yeah. And you're like, well, you sound upset. I'm like, well, okay, well, I guess I just can't talk about it, is almost kind of how I felt, but.
No, and it's not even that you can't talk about it. It's just the digs.
Yeah.
Is where it's like the jabs that are in there. We can talk facts.
Yeah. I guess I can see where I put jabs.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not even like I try to do the jabs. I'm just
I know.
I'm just like, it's just kind of naturally there. I'm just a natural dickhead, but.
Yeah. And no, it just mainly comes down to me. The conversation ended up coming down to, I still need to, like, I am totally happy with you being where you are. Yeah. Because I know that.
Oh, that's right.
That you are where you are because you honestly believe that's where you should be. Yeah. And that is 100% okay with me. Yeah. But I also have to defend, like, just because you're there doesn't mean that I have to be there. Yeah. And so that's where sometimes we can combat a little bit, because it's hard for you to be in a place that I am not. Yeah. And so, but I was trying to express to you, I'm like, it's okay. Like, I'm okay with it. And I know that it's hard for you. Yeah. That, I don't know, that it would be easier for you if I was in your same place with it. Yeah. It would be. It just would be. But I also need to be true to me and be in the place that I need to be and feel is right for me. Yeah. And so that's kind of where the end of the conversation went was.
What? Yeah, thanks for rehashing this with me, actually, because I think I'm realizing now that, and I kind of said this last night, but I think I'm realizing now that I don't enjoy being at church. I love the people, and I do connect well with some people there and there's nobody there that I have any negative feelings towards. Yeah. So that it's weird. Like, I want to be very careful how I say this. It's not you, it's me, everybody. Yeah. But I get there and it's really, really hard for me to be there. Yeah. But I feel like so I don't want to go and I don't want to participate in it.
And
but
that's okay.
I know. But what I'm trying to say is that I think I get irritated because I feel guilty for not being there to help you. Yeah. Because we have little kids that are there, and I don't want you to be like the mom, like feeling like a single mom there at church without any help. And so it's just kind of this back and forth that I think I deal with now. Mm-hmm. I'm to that stage of it all, where I'm just going, okay, I need to support Jessica, and I need to protect my brain. Yeah. And not that I can put up for an hour of stuff or whatever.
The thing is you can support me in other ways, right?
Like what?
Well, just in other ways in life. Like, just because you don't go to church doesn't mean you don't support me ever. right? Just because you're not there with me at church doesn't mean that you're not a support to me. That's one situation which has, like, what's the right word? That has merit to not be able to. I mean, you're supporting me and letting me go, I guess, and letting me take the children.
Sure.
You don't have to actually physically be there to be the support.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bless you. Oh.
Sorry.
Una mas.
So it's like this is exactly why we need to have conversations and be open, is because you may be feeling that I am feeling a certain way about it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, I have zero like feelings about it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be there, I don't want you to be there. That's fine.
Yeah. And I don't know, this is getting really deep into it, but I remember saying, I was even talking to my dad. I said, Jess and I are good. And I had a good lunch with him the other day. We had a really good conversation, and I told you the same thing. I was just like, man, the only thing that I worry about is I told him all this stuff with the church, just like I did now. And then I said, I guess my only concern is that, Jess might one day just go, this is what I need and want in my life. And I need somebody that will do this with me long term. And I guess that's the only risk we're running in our relationship at this point is,
And it's fair, but also I've had experiences where, like I said, I just went to the temple this last week for the first time since COVID. Shh, don't tell. I mean, I've gone to the temple, but not to do like a full session.
Yeah.
And so this is the first session I've done for a hot minute, and I just kind of sat there, and I was with my family, and like my parents, my niece was going through, and
yeah,
I just sat there, and I even questioned myself. I was like, okay, how do I feel about this being here by myself?
Yeah.
Is this a problem? And it wasn't. It wasn't a problem to me. Not to say that I won't,
Ever become one?
I don't know, but I didn't feel like it would. It feels like it's okay,
Yeah. That's how I felt too. It's weird.
So.
I mean, it's good. I'm glad I do.
Yeah.
I try to keep our little family together and.
Yeah. And I sit there and we have these thoughts and question things, but I don't think it's bad. Yeah. Question it.
Yeah.
See what that does. And then go from there. And but to me, I had the question, I thought it, and you apparently had the same question. Yeah. I don't foresee it being a problem because
that's funny that literally while I'm talking to my dad, you were at the temple wondering the same thing that I was telling him that was a concern.
Yeah,
it was that
and I
same
just
day
did.
at the
I
same
sat
time.
there and I just was like, "Is this weird?" No, it's not. It didn't feel weird. It didn't feel.
Yeah.
Awkward. It didn't feel like I was missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have a feeling about it. It was
cool.
It was more like, no, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is good.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a good talk with my mom yesterday. Mom, I sure love you. I know she's had some little health scares, and they had to put her kitty cat down. She was sad about that, and just had a kind of a rough week, a little stressed out, and we had a really good talk yesterday morning. I was talking to her on the phone, and so I talked to both my parents this week. How about that?
What the?
Caught up. We just
You're such a good
talk
son.
about life. I guess wouldn't call me that, but and we and I did let her know that I think she's wondered about me, and I just said, Mom, I feel very strongly and good about the path I'm on and where I'm supposed to be, and me and God are good, and He gets me, and I'm starting to get Him, I think, and
yeah,
I'm trying,
Well,
and I feel good about where I'm at. I don't feel lost. I feel very at peace with where I am. I think as much as I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as much as I should, frankly, I think it's pushing me for growth and pushing me again to kind of like what we talked about last episode, but just looking internally, looking inside, and who am I and what am I supposed to do? And this is one of the things that I felt like this podcast, chatting with you and doing this, and my work and my family, and it's all, I don't know.
Yeah.
Life's cool.
Man, we spent like a half an hour on the one topic. Should we
I know.
choose another one?
How do you? Ooh, this is a good one. This could. This is gonna be a touchy one.
Oh no. Okay.
How do you, babe, prioritize
Oh.
time with your partner in the midst of busy schedules and daily
This
responsibilities.
is literally our life right now.
I bitched about this a couple weeks ago to you. I did. I
was
told
one of
Jess,
the
I said,
questions, too.
there's five other people in this house besides you, and I feel like I'm number 5. I was the one that said that. I said I'm like the total woman in the relationship.
But listen, that
Let's
was
hear
one
it.
of the questions too. Who's more needy? That we did today on the reel. Who's more needy?
You are.
It was you. You even said it.
I did. I'm more needy. I'm more needy in some ways. I'm really needy in the things that I need, but I feel like the things that I need are less than what everybody else needs from me.
I see. Okay.
Is that fair to say?
It's fair
My
for
overall
you to feel.
neediness on a low level of intensity is higher. Like, gimme. But I feel like it's just a few things that I really need.
Okay, so read the question again and let me see if I can answer it for you.
How do you, Jessica, prioritize time with your partner, Hayden? That's me.
Oh, okay.
That is referring to me in this
While we're
sense.
here. Okay.
In the midst of busy schedules and daily responsibilities.
Okay, so our thing is date nights weekly are usually non-negotiables.
Yeah, and I will add to that if I can.
You're asking me questions.
You're really good at that. And there's times that I'm just a pissy pants and I don't want to go because I'm angry, and withdrawal is one of my pissy pants ways of just like, I'll show her we're not going to do this tonight.
Mm-hmm. And then I still make him go.
A lot of times we do, yeah. Most of the time I would say we
Honestly,
go. And it's
one...
always, even if it's a hard time, there was times when our dates were tough because of the conversations we'd have.
And that was early on in the processing of everything.
Sure. But I am, it's rare now that we go and that I'm like, why did we do this tonight? I knew it. We should have just stayed home. Like every time I go and we just talk and we can, as long as I'm willing to just open up and not be stubborn and hold back, it usually always ends up being positive. Yeah,
there was a couple weeks ago that you were like, nah, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going. And we still went and we did dinner and we sat down, and at first it was still a little like contentious, but by the end we were having really good conversation and deep conversation and stuff that we needed to talk about.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Peterson actually talks about this. He says, get, I think 1 to 2 hours or 2 hours a week with your spouse. Word.
Sorry, I just get these fits.
And I've really actually taken that to heart. There is something to that being alone and spending some time together and talking about life. And it's so easy with 4 kids to just go, we'll talk about this later, or and then time just goes by, and when you haven't talked, you forget about what you haven't talked about, and there's just so much that happens a lot of times that it's a necessary thing. And I think it's also a little bit therapeutic for us to just let out our day,
Yeah. And it's hard because, so like Maddie, how she pays for show choir is that she is the one responsible to watch the kids that weekly thing, right?
Yeah.
Because show choir, I mean, her time and the money probably don't equate.
Yeah.
But,
meaning that we pay more than she watches. Oh.
Yeah, but
I feel bad sometimes that she watches them.
I know, and she asks me sometimes, hey, can we do date night like another day? Maybe during the week. But our week is so checked full that usually, no, we can't, and sometimes we will if there's like a specific something that comes up. But it's hard because I know that she would rather go hang out with her friends, but it's kind of one of those give and takes as a family unit too that we have to have where
everybody's got responsibilities.
She's running and doing her activities all through the week, and sometimes we'll do it like earlier in the day, like on a Saturday if we don't have anything going on, we'll do it earlier and then she can go do something at night or whatever, but it's just kind of a give and take, and quote unquote her job, if you will, for paying for that. So
right,
it's hard, but where it's a non-negotiable, I think that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
so date night.
The day is not non-negotiable, but we usually like once a week is date night.
Yeah.
And very rarely do we miss that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's key because, I think that's key.
Yeah.
And there are times during the week too. Like I've been trying to get the kids to get to bed a little earlier because you go to bed early.
Yeah.
And so if I get to have any time with you at all, one-on-one time during the week.
Yeah.
It's if I can get the kids to bed early enough.
Yeah.
Or we can.
Yeah.
And so I do try and get them to bed like on their scheduled bedtime, but Maddie's bedtime's not till 10 o'clock, which is a decent bedtime or a normal, I would think, bedtime for her age.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's not always like optimal because we want to spend time with her too, and she wants to spend time with us, but anyway, it's just not one-on-one.
I go to bed early because I try to get up early.
Yeah.
Because nobody in our house is a morning person, except maybe Taft. I could see Taft being a bit of a morning person.
Taft just wants to get on the TV.
Yeah, that's true.
Or electronic. So if he
He's
can do
usually
it and
pretty
nobody
happy in the mornings.
is going to say anything, then
Gwen's a
No,
grumpy
yes.
goose.
Gwen is grumpy.
Jack, he's okay. Maddie's
Jack doesn't like to get up.
That's true. Jack, and then Maddie would sleep till noon every day if we let her.
She would, but she's not mad in the morning.
That's true. Would you call her a morning person?
I don't know. What does a morning person mean? Does it mean that like
They're
you
chipper,
can get up and
they're
be happy
in the morning and just happy,
be.
just like, I don't know, energetic. I feel like, anyway, and it's kind of nice for me. That's sometimes my only quiet time other than when I'm driving.
I know that's the hard thing is that it's like this is your time, so you get up early for your time.
Yeah.
But our time would be at night, so that gets all muffled.
Yeah.
But we try. I try, at least. Those are the two things. Okay, I gotta ask you one. You asked me too. Okay. Okay, how do you support and encourage each other in pursuing personal goals and aspirations?
Man. I try to be supportive in stuff that you want to do. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with the thought of like, what does it mean for me?
Yeah.
And the selfish thoughts of, okay, if she does this, and then how does it affect me and everybody else in the family? And is the outcome better than the crap we're going to go through to make this happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it worth it, I guess, in the end? But even today you mentioned somebody talked to you about doing it like you haven't worked for, I don't know, when's the last time you had a job?
Since Maddie was
2?
Yeah, probably.
So what, 13 years
No.
or something?
Because, she was probably 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if it worked out. The timing is actually kind of interesting, but for a lot of reasons, I think. But I don't know. I don't know how supportive you think.
You didn't tell me, or you didn't finish the thought. So somebody approached me about
doing a job, doing some
job
work for him a little bit, half-time, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what, if that's what she wants to do and we can make it work, great, you know, and I think it would be good for you. And I feel like in a lot of ways that you are so talented, and I think because you haven't been in the workplace for so long, I think you question yourself and your abilities sometimes. But I know for sure you would go kick butt in anything you put your mind to and your heart into, you know.
Thanks.
At the end of the day, it's just, you know, we got Rugrats, so whatever is better for them, really. And then if it helps you and we can make it work, awesome. Let's do it. But
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of what was the question exactly? How do I encourage you in your goals?
Yeah, let's see. How do you... Oh, no, that's not the one. Where'd it go? Okay, 6. Number 6. How do you support and encourage each other in pursuing personal goals and aspirations?
And then I've tried to... What's interesting is I feel like... You can take this out if you want, but I feel like you went through a bit of a funk after having Gwen, right?
Yeah.
And like I remember you saying, I brought home my little goal book and I was all really big into goal setting, and I'm getting back into that again now, you know. And I've actually in general been pretty good the past several years about having goals and different, you know, objectives and things that I want to accomplish in life and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I remember bringing home, we have these little, what we call life binders at work, and I brought them to you, and I think you've used them here and there.
Yeah.
And I think you were just in a place where you were just like, dude, I need to freaking I'm in survival mode right now, you know, and and I get it, you know. So there's things I've tried to do, and I try not to be too pushy, you know, even though I would like you to just feel that same when I'm feeling ambitious, I would love to have a partner that feels ambitious. But
yeah.
I think there was also the time when we got to compliment and help each other. And anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I usually not? You tell me. How supportive really am I?
This is your question. No, I thought the other day, so
I just don't want to lie. I try to be supportive, but for me, it's being supportive to you is just like, hey, are the bills paid and the kids have what they need, and do you have what you need to make all this stuff happen? But I don't know that you. I don't know how else I could do it. I guess support you.
yeah, so
I've tried to push you to like, hey, maybe it's time if you want to go back to school and go get your degree and become a therapist. Like, maybe this is a good time to go do that. But you've got to feel like it's right for you too. And sometimes, like, if I don't want you to hold back because you think it's going to be hard. I'd rather you hold back because it's not the right time. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah, and I've thought that. Yeah, I've thought through that, but just like the other day, it was sometimes your initial, what you initially say is not necessarily supportive, but then you come back and you're like, I'm sorry. I just got stressed out. So like the other day when we talked about going to.
Hold on.
What?
You need a cough button.
I know.
Oh my word, lady. Okay, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna give my 2 cents here first. So
okay, you set it up.
Jess booked to go to Benson Boone concert.
Which
then,
was booked before. So Maddie was going to Florida, and I wasn't going. And it was like $30 for Benson Boone, and she wanted to go. I was going to get her tickets for her birthday, but it was sold out up here. So when they went on sale down in St. George, and they were like $30, I was like, okay. So we booked that. And then.
We all know that trip's not going to cost $30, but you're right. Good deal.
We have a free place to stay.
You got it.
Keep going.
I know that. But. So there's the weekend with Benson Boone.
Yeah.
And then this is me. I'm in the office with my headphones on, okay? I already know Benson Boone's coming up. 2 weeks ago, Maddie had her thing out in Florida. Yep. And I could tell Jess wanted to go even up to the very last minute. But I'm like, if you wanted to go do this, we should have planned this stuff out long ago.
Yeah, that was a me thing.
So luckily that didn't happen like last minute. And she didn't end up going. But because they won, now they're going to Branson, Missouri. The weekend after next weekend. So you go to St. George this upcoming weekend, and then you're gone the next weekend.
Yeah.
Then I have a giant client event, our Easter egg hunt that weekend, and then we're going to Vegas with friends. And that'll be a fun trip the next weekend. But it literally is like 1, 2, 3, 4 weekends. It's springtime. Things are nutty anyway. We're talking about selling our house. I want to declutter the house. Like, it just is never-ending things. Yeah. And while you're trying to plan all this stuff, you get off the phone with your dad, and you're like, "This is why I questioned if I was even supportive." But I'm like, you're like, "Hey, did you hear that?" And I'm like, "I heard you were on the phone. What's up?" And this is you can tell me if this is right, but I'm like, what's up? You're like, well, for the wedding this summer, I have a parade of home in the parade of homes this year. It is 3 weeks of hell. It is going to be 3 busy freaking weeks.
All through June, the whole month.
Pretty much the entire week of June. At the end of the month.
June is a month.
What did I say?
Week.
the entire month of June, sorry. The entire month of June. Gwen's birthday is the 25th. Mine's the 27th when the
wedding is actually.
The wedding's on my birthday, and then Jessica's birthday is on the 29th. So she's like, I think I'm going to go out a week early, and I just don't want to. I'm like, you're going to go out for an entire week during that exact same day. We had a meeting, said no travel, no anything, and I forgot the wedding was then, but I didn't think you're going to go out that early anyway. And it kind of ends right as that wedding starts. Mm-hmm. So I just thought I can make a couple days work, but I'm not going to make a week work. I'm just not. I'm telling everybody this right now publicly that is not happening. So I said, why do you need to go out for a whole week? And your response to me was the lamest excuse I've ever heard. You should have had your sales pitch tied down before you talked to me about this. But it was, well, I just don't want to have them take so many trips to the airport. And I said, have we? And I know that is actually, you don't like to
There's
inconvenience
5 million of us.
I get it. There's this crazy service called Uber. It actually takes you from the airport and it will drop you wherever you freaking ask. It will literally take you to the doorstep of anywhere you want to go. And if Uber isn't around, there's this other company called Lyft, and they do the same thing. And if that doesn't work, there's also taxis and all this other crazy stuff. It's nuts. Like, technology is cray cray. So my response to you was, she didn't. We need to book that. I get it. You need to book it so you can go.
But I also
I'm
want
like,
to go
dude,
to
we're
help.
in the. You're literally, and you're going out to help, quote unquote. You will, and I know you'll help. I know it, and you deserve the time away with your family. You really do. You really do. But I also said you should log into my Delta Sky Miles account because I've got quite a few miles still left, and you should see how many tickets you can book.
Because you want me to take the 5,000.
The children, yeah. And you're going to have a lot of help because you have a lot of family that's going to be out there. It'll be perfect. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't sometimes feel that supported. I'm just like, well, I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. So you got to pick your battles of marriage, and we'll figure this one out. I'm like, yeah, why don't you just talk to me about this while I'm literally just trying to survive the next 2 weekends?
It was bad timing on my part. That's
And
what
of
I said
course,
before at the beginning. Timing is important.
And work is picking up right now. It's springtime. Like, things are starting to happen. And I'm just like, dude, this is all happening at the worst time for me. But I don't know. I don't know if there's ever a good time for anything anymore. I just take it as it comes.
Yup. We just keep on keeping on.
Do you want to respond?
Do you want me to
I don't know. You can give your last thoughts on that. I was kind of aggressive there, and you're welcome to.
You were. The way that I support you is that I don't force you to do anything. So
Thanks, babe.
I try and let you have the final say in what you are a part of. And also
you're really good at that. You are good about. Not always have been. You've been, but that's something with our marriage.
Yeah, but it's not even worth the battle anymore. I've learned that it's not worth the battle because either. So this is. I know that it sounds bad, but like, especially going through like the job change and everything, I went through this time and like having to like start your business, right?
Yeah.
I went through a time where I just was like mom, dad, and all the hats. I felt, I was doing all the things.
Yeah.
Because you were just gone a lot.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me, they're like, how's that going? And I'm like, honestly, I have no expectation.
Yeah.
Because that's where disappointment comes, is from expectation.
Yeah.
So I have no expectation.
And I carry guilt for this, by the way.
No, and it's okay because it was necessary at the time.
Yeah.
It just was. And so
Yeah.
I'm just saying this is how I've helped support. So there was a time where it was just like, I just have to do all the things, or as far as home goes, right? Like you were doing the things to make sure that we could have home and all that stuff. But I just kind of in my head, it's easier that way. Or it was easier that way, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't as difficult to be like, if we dwell on that you weren't there to help with this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Then I would probably be pissed, right?
Yeah.
But where I was just like, nope, no expectation. I don't expect you to help in any of these capacities. So like after a while, you're like, hey, I can actually take the kids to school on my way to work. And you've done that ever since. Yeah. Which was so nice. So nice for you to even just pick up the one thing. Yeah. Right? And so instead of, because I drive all the other places. Yeah. It's just nice to have the one trip lifted, right? Yeah. So anyway, just stuff like that where it's just, and even with school and stuff, you're like, should I do it? And I just kind of like, okay, yeah, we just got to get back to, you're going to be busy. Yeah. But it's only for a time and season. And I knew that with the other stuff too. And that I think the mindset on it just has to be realistic. And again,
that's
if it's
exactly
easier,
what it is a total mindset.
Yeah, if it's easier, so I don't know, maybe this would be helpful for you even. Yeah. Where it's like, I'm gonna be gone, I'm gonna be gone. But just like the mindset of, okay, we're doing this and it's only for a couple days. Sure. and it'll be fine. Yeah. And you've got Jack is good and helpful or whatever. But
well, I had a couple
go
things
into
kind of
it.
fall into place with work, a couple big appointments that I was like stressing about that actually fell right in line with that. If they don't change, will work perfectly with the schedule. As long as that's not, as long as I'm not feel like I'm dropping the ball with clients and people, it's a
and
lot
I get
easier for me
that's
to put everything to rest. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But you're exactly
But you
right.
did
It is
say-
a total mindset thing.
I didn't finish. You did say before you were saying, or I was saying that you were freaking out and feeling a little overwhelmed with all of the things coming up, me being gone for the couple weekends.
Yeah.
But you did come back and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm just stressed, and like realizing what it was that was coming up or why you were defensive about or overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know this is great. And then from then on, it's not been a thing, but it was like there sometimes is an initial like, whoa, like
Totally
panic.
Yeah.
Of
I'm
the
reactionary
extra
at times.
Yeah, the extra responsibility that it is for you, for me to do stuff, whatever.
Well, I think that's where when I even early on in this episode when I was saying that I empathize with people that are entrepreneurs, like this is another reason why.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. And your spouse has to be on board. If you have a spouse there's just people that can't do. There's just people that a 9-to-5 is just the best thing for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get that.
For the family,
I totally understand that. Yeah, I really do. I thought for a minute that it may still be our thing, you know? That I just thought maybe that's what we're supposed to do, is just to keep the freaking peace and sanity around here. And I think, I don't know, I think we kind of had this agreement early on in our marriage, though, that we wanted kids and you didn't want to work and you wanted to be mom. But I think we're getting to a season in our life where that's about to change, you know, and I think that's okay too, and we're both on board with it. At least I am, and I think you are. And so with you not working, I think that there's kind of this understanding of like, okay, I'll take care of this stuff here, you take care of this stuff there, and then when I'm home, I do try to help. And there's a few things I can do better at home, but I really do try to like.
No, you'll do the dishes or get on the kids to get their chores done, and that's very helpful.
I'm really good at yelling and pointing and.
No, but just taking the mental load off. There's like the physical load of stuff, and then there's the mental load of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the mental load is almost heavier than the physical load of things.
Yeah.
Right. So my brain saying, "Okay, I need to go here, and I need to get this for this activity, and I need to, like there's so much in the scope of that."
Yeah.
So that even you coming home being like, "Hey, you guys need to do your chores," because I'm like mentally checked out. Like, I don't even care. I'll do it in the morning because I'm just done. Right.
Yeah.
It puts more work on me, but in the end, that's even just that is very helpful, because then I wake up and I'm like, oh, actually, this feels so much better than having to wake up and feel like, I need to get out of the house.
I know a way I support you.
How?
Every first Tuesday of every month, your damn bunko group.
Yeah, but that's like.
And don't say yeah, but
no.
I have supported your little bunko group for 5 years.
Sometimes I have to force you into that's not.
And
that's
I don't stress about it too much, but because Maddie, if I'm not here, Maddie handles it pretty well.
Yeah.
But that is something we just know that's something you're going to do every month, and and it's great. I think it's good for you.
Yep. There have been weeks that you complained about it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, dude, there was also weeks there that
I don't miss that often though. So
there were a lot of weeks I worked 60 to 80-hour weeks too. You know what I mean?
And that was probably the biggest. And when Maddie wasn't here to help, then it was like me. You're like, I still need to stay and work and get home.
I don't know. There was probably a time there for a while that my average time getting home was 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night for a long time.
A long time.
Right? That was good. Yeah. I think that's why I've had a hard time like being like, okay, this is it.
Gotta do it again.
Do it. Yep.
Gotta get back at it.
We've been spoiled the last little while and just back to the grind, which is good. I don't know. I like it. And at the end of the day, I really can control my schedule. And I've learned, just a reminder too of like,
well, you have to control it.
Yeah. No one cares. So you either protect your schedule and set your boundaries, or you're going to get freaking rolled over, dude.
Yeah.
And that comes, I think, with, at least for me, it's come with time and experience. And I'm still not great at it, but I'm getting better, you know. Yeah. Like, hey, let's talk tomorrow, or let's talk on Monday, and, you know.
Yeah.
But
let's do like just answer it quickly, okay? Last question.
We can go through more later. We're over an
What
hour.
is your love language, and how do you show love to your partner in a way that resonates with them? So, like, what's your love language? How do you show it, and how do you show it to me that you know that it would work for me?
My love language is probably, I don't know, I feel like it's almost kind of changed a little bit. It used to be things, like things, buying me things,
I don't
a
feel
snuggle,
like that's it.
touching,
Okay,
time,
touch. I would say touch.
time is probably one.
Yeah, I think
A
touch
clean,
and time.
I really appreciate a clean house.
Acts
like
of service.
A lot. And so I've been really bad at it, but I've tried to be better the last little while about like a flower here and there for you, or try to clean up a little bit and help you.
Yeah, mine's for sure acts of service. So, like, when you do little things like that.
And it's been tough in our marriage because I'm like a gift guy.
Yeah.
And so it took me a long time to understand that, like,
I don't really care.
she doesn't care. And it's hard for people that don't understand my wife. Have we told the story when that a girl at work told me to get Jess a camera because Jess kept telling me for her birthday she wanted a vacuum? This is no freaking lie. This is no lie.
I got a $25 like Walmart vacuum when we moved into our townhome.
Yeah.
Didn't do jack. I mean, it did the job. It would suck up the big things, but like then I wanted a Dyson vacuum to like really get at it because we had little ones crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
So I asked for that for Christmas, and then
it wasn't Christmas. It was
my
your birthday. So I kept telling my friends at work, I'm like, I'm gonna go buy my wife a vacuum. That's what she really wants. But I'm torn because I don't feel like I can go buy her a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
And so this girl's like, just go get her a camera or something. And so I went and I bought you a camera. Jess took the camera back and bought a freaking vacuum. I just said, there you go, dude. And honestly, like, this is why I'm married to the person that I am, because I don't do well with the high maintenance stuff, I don't think, as well as some of my friends do. And that's, if you're high maintenance, that's okay too. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
but I think that's why we work, is because I'm a half a dipshit and
I don't care.
And you're cool with it. So, and it works,
No.
But like, even like Valentine's Day, actually you got me those little hands, and she even got me like a little bag of stuff, and I was like, dude, we told each other we're not getting each other anything, and then she still gets me a little bag, and that's what's hard, is
because it was like $10.
We can't ever not get anything. So there's always some, except that time I didn't, and then she spent $10 and got me some funny stuff.
Wasn't like it was like a huge deal. I could have gotten you that on.
She was trying to film me, and I'm like, dude, this wasn't the deal. And you're like, it's just small. I'm like, I don't care. This wasn't the deal.
Yeah, you ruined it.
Yeah,
just kidding. So I think mine's time. My like love language is time.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why I like push it or make sure that it is the weekly date. And then
quality time, probably.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's see. And how do I show love? I'm usually an acts of service kind of person. That's usually how I try and show love. But for you, where yours is physical touch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like every night, probably for our whole marriage, I've tickled you.
Yeah, you're really good at that. She tickles my back. I love getting my back tickled. Yep.
Even when when I'm real tired.
Yeah. Sometimes it only lasts about 30 seconds.
But you know what? Yeah. I did it. So
she'll scratch my back for a minute.
That's what I try and do.
Yeah, I'm really grateful that you haven't hated me and given up on that.
That's okay. But the problem
Jess
though,
hates to be tickled, though. If you tickle her.
Please
so
don't.
When she's not doing it, I'll just start to tickle her. And then.
But it's not like tickle, tickle, tickle. Like it's like rubbing your back, your arm. Ugh. Anyway, I just did it to myself and it like gave me the chills.
I love the chills from it.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
You just like to your back to be lightly like rubbed.
Yeah.
And the hard thing though then is that our children have that. They love that. Apparently it's genetic. They love it. Huh. So now I'm tickling like 5 people.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Gwen will sit on us and go, tickle me. And she'll put her arm out. She wants you to tickle her arm.
So I'm tickling Gwen and I'm tickling Hayden. And if I had more hands, I would be tickling Maddie and Taft.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I would. Every night.
Oh, she'll put her arm on you and her leg on me. Tickle me. Tickle me.
Her thing though is when she gets tired, she'll do her arm And then she's trying not to fall asleep, so she'll flip around and pull up her pant leg and have me tickle her her leg. And then she just flips, tickle my back, tickle my tummy, and then just keeps rotating. I'm like, and we're done.
Yeah.
We can't. So anyway.
Good talk today.
Thanks. I love you.
I love you most.